Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are now moving to another type of question, which is what is the main idea of a paragraph or the entire passage? It won't change anything. All what you need to worry about when I say main idea of a paragraph, I'm talking about one specific. If I said about that entire كل الباسج فحدور على أكثر كلمة موجودة في القطعة repeated words plus I will narrow it down to more specific. ولذلك المين idea, it's a complete sentence, it's not too general, it's not too specific. Any detailed cannot be an answer. Any general cannot be an answer, generally speaking. So if I have these and I have to choose from these, I have the following and I have to choose the main idea. If you have a passage, you read the first paragraph and the last paragraph should give you the answer, most probably, unless the first one is introductory. So if I read the first and the last will give me the main idea of the entire and the topic. Let's do this one. It says, as of the year 2020, heart disease was the #1 killer of Americans. It was predicted that more than 40% of adults in the United States would be diagnosed with cardiovascular disease by the year 2030. So I know for sure that I'm talking about a disease that is connected with heart disease. So far, it's what we call in writing a hook, introducing the topic. So he's telling me heart disease is becoming more popular, widespread. Americans, 40% of those Americans, they have this. Then it says this proportion translates to more, we end up with more than $1 trillion in medical costs. So we're spending $1 trillion. In addition, moreover, Medicare, the cost for medicine, for treatment, for taking care of those people who are sick, would be responsible for covering more than half of those expenses. So half of those trillion will go to the Americans who are diagnosed with heart disease. Therefore, as a result, advocates are supporters such as AARP say one way that aging American can help to reduce our federal government budget deficit, DE in English mostly negative meaning, DE, DI, so this is a negative, though DI can also means two, like dipole, but most probably DE is a negative, is to exercise. Regular exercise strengthens the heart, improves the blood circulation, and help us lose weight. These results, the results of what? The regular exercise, if people do it, they will lower our nation's medical expenditures, which mean cost, because less people will be diagnosed with the heart attack because they are using exercise by reducing the incidence of heart attack or heart disease. If I ask you what is the message that the writer wants us to know, what is his purpose of writing? He wants to tell us that the cost somehow related to heart disease and mostly to those who are aging. So if we want to reduce, to cut short, to cut down on our expenses, we have to encourage, to motivate our people, mainly the aging, to start doing exercise. I'm not worrying about the young because now the young 40 are suffering from that. If I want to reduce this percent in the future, I have to encourage the exercise. So mainly I'm talking about the expenses and how to reduce them in all. It says here cardiovascular heart disease is the #1. That's the hook. It's doesn't all was about cost, medical cost, expenses, cost, deficit, medical expenditures, reduce the cost. So I'm $1 trillion. These are all not about only the heart disease. In 2011 was expected to have declined by 2030. It says here the 40% diagnosed by, يعني instead of reducing, we will have more than 40%. So this is completely the opposite. The number of heart attack will increase. That's the prediction that they have. That's what they anticipate. That's what they guess will happen if we don't start exercising and asking people to use that to reduce the number of those suffering from heart attacks. So by the year 2000, we'll have more of those suffering, 40%. Then it says Medicare would have to cover less than half. Well, we know they are covering more, and there's nothing about which year. You could say it's an inference. If people start exercising, probably in the future we will reduce the number of our cost. And those who will say probably, what about if the population increases? All these are inferences. But if I'm asking about the main idea, this is opposite to the fact that is stated here. So this cannot be the main idea. It says here exercise. That's exactly the connection that can reduce the budget deficit by cutting down on cost. Yes, if more people are exercising, we will have less number of people diagnosed with heart attack or heart disease. Sorry, heart disease, I meant, not heart attack. And the same, because heart attack means he might survive and he might not. So I'm talking about those suffering from heart disease. I will reduce the number of those if they exercise. And that's actually the message that the writer wants us to know. So D should be the right answer. Thank you very much.